Before I even get this video started, I want you to look at the bottom right corner of my video. It says Gweilo 60, little red Gweilo 60. You can see through it. What you got to do is put your cursor on there, and that's my subscribe button. Go over there and subscribe to this channel right now, because I need you to help me grow this channel. You know, to me it looks like mainstream media in the West has found a new target in the China-based YouTubers that are positive on China. Welcome to another video from Gweilo 60. It's not just one, it's not two, it's not three, 4 different media outlets, mainstream media outlets, have done articles or doing articles on our community here in China. Dutch national television has jumped on the bandwagon, and I just got an email from none other than Fox News. Yes, Fox News, the GOP, good old party, the Republican, an arm of the Republican government in the United States of America, was asking me, sent me an email asking me for my comments. And my response to these people, Tara, whoever she is, but you know, I will put these emails in this video, so stay tuned for that. My response to this person was, I just made a couple of videos on this particular subject, and I sent her the links to my last couple of videos that I did, and I said this would probably tell you where I'm coming from, what my response to your comments will be, and I left it at that. In each of these requests for comments, there's one common denominator. And what is that common denominator? They all asked, were you paid for your services? Were you given money? Were you given free hotels? Were you given, and if anybody has watched any of my videos, I'm pretty open about this kind of stuff. So it seems sort of weird that they would ask this over and over again from, and I want you to understand the hypocrisy of this. As the United States government ear tags over $300 million a year for journalists to write articles that discredit China, the Chinese government, the Chinese people, and Chinese business around the world, they are worried about Chinese cities, Chinese governments promoting tourism in China, paying for hotel rooms or buying food or transportation. For somebody like me that has a platform or a number of platforms that I can advertise these areas for them. So there's sort of a benefit for both sides. What's the benefit of over $300 million per year for 5 years, $1.5 billion ear tag of taxpayer money in the United States to spread bad news about China, the Chinese government, the Chinese people, and Chinese businesses around the world? Hypocrisy at its best, I guess, eh guys? Also, I'd like to talk about the double standard. Being a patriot in the United States is a good thing. Supporting the American military is a good thing. The boys fight for our freedom. The boys are this, the boys and girls now are doing a good job. They're putting their lives on the line for us and all that other stuff. Same thing in China. Patriotism is not just something that happens in the United States or Canada or Great Britain or Australia or New Zealand or Norway or Mexico or whatever. It happens here in China. It happens in Vietnam. It happens in Singapore. It also happens in Indonesia and Malaysia. It probably happens in New Guinea. I don't know. I've never been to New Guinea, but it's on my bucket list. But the idea is that the Americans, the Western capitalist countries, think that they have a monopoly on patriotism. They think that if they promote their military, if they promote Southern California as a tourist place, if they promote their businesses, their farmers, if they promote cotton from the southeastern area of the United States, if they promote their automobile industry, if they promote their mining industry, if they promote, this is all good things for the United States or any other country around the world. But when China does it, well, my God, now that's propaganda. And how dare the Chinese government or the Chinese people want to grow their city, a city like Nanning. Why would they advertise? That's propaganda. How dare them? You know, are you catching what I'm saying here, guys and girls? It's a double standard that is rampant around the world right now, and they've got their target on China. And anybody in China that says anything good about China or helps promote China in any way becomes a target for these turds. Exactly, turds, and that's exactly what they are. They're basically shit in my eyes. And if I want to promote my wife's country, that's exactly what I'll do. If I have more fun here than I do in Canada because I feel more freedom here, well then I'm going to tell you that. If you don't like it, change the frickin' channel, guys. If you do like it, watch some more. Hit that subscribe button in the bottom right hand side. Gweilo 60, you know what I'm talking about. But when you hear this rhetoric from mainstream media, did you do this or did you do that? You have to understand exactly where it's coming from, and you have to know that they have an agenda to blacken the eye, discredit China, Chinese people, and Chinese business around the world, because that's what they're paying for it. $300 million a year, man. Like you're talking a buck out of every man, woman, and child in the United States is paying journalists to discredit Chinese people. What a sad, sad thing, eh? And it's not just me that gets these emails. It's the Lee Barretts, the Daniel Dumbros, the Mexicanos in China's berries, for movies, to you name it. Each of these content creators that have a positive outlook on China in their videos are being bombarded by mainstream media requesting comments. And you saw me with this last one with the New York Times. I actually made a video about the New York Times, and I knew exactly what they were up to. The Dutch news, national news too, guys, in the Netherlands. You'd think that they would have a little bit more common sense in the United States, but no, they don't. It was the same type of hit piece. It was the same, were you paid for this? The Xinjiang, the genocidal lies and deceit that the mainstream media of the West has been working on over the last year or two. It's just a repetitive thing that's happening. And now that they have competition by the China-based tubers, content creators, their job now is to discredit us and everything we say, to the point where nobody will believe us. I did this video here a couple days ago about this particular subject, but it was only dealing with the New York Times. We're getting more than that. We're getting it from all different directions now. We seem to be the main target of mainstream media in the West right now, and it's a little disheartening to know that the countries that we grew up in are actually spreading garbage like this. They're spreading hate, they're spreading disinformation, they're telling you what you want to hear, but it's not true. I actually think that a lot of these mainstream media outlets are a little pissed off because they used to have a monopoly on influencing people around the world. They were the only people out there telling you what to think, what was going on in the news around the world. And now you've got people actually living on the ground in a place like China, so it's more difficult for them to tell you lies about a place like China. about, well, you look at my backgrounds, you know that I'm actually here doing what I say I'm doing. I live the life. They don't live the life. What they do is they have a boss that says, we need an article that says this, this, and this, because this is our agenda. And the person like the Paul Mosiers of the world and Terras of the world and whatever, they go back to their little desk and they search the internet and they watch all of our videos and they pick out whatever they can twist and turn to try to support their agenda or their boss's agenda. Where with somebody like myself or Lee Baird or Alex from Reportify Media or Alex Absolute or Daniel Dumbrill or Cyrus Jansen, even though Cyrus isn't in China right now, he has a lot of experience in China. To Blondie, to Nico, to the Mexicanos in China, to you name it. We're actually here showing you what's actually going on in mainland China and telling you about our lives, our experiences, what we see, what we hear, what our lives are like. That's our agenda, just to be truthful to you. In the last couple of videos that I've done on this subject, I might sound like a little broken record here, just for the fact that I'm sort of regurgitating a lot of stuff. But my channel is about what I go through as a foreigner living here in Nanning City, Guangxi Autonomous Region, mainland China. I have a camera, I show you what my life is like. If something is bothering me, if people are harassing me, I'm not going to let that sit behind closed doors. I'm going to grab my camera and I'm going to tell you guys about it. I'm going to tell the whole world about it. If they're bothering my community, the Lee Bairds and the Daniel Dumbrills and the Alex Absolutes and the Alex from Reportify Medias and the Nikos and the Blondies, and if they're bothering all of these people, well, they're not going to bother my community behind closed doors. It's going to be out in the open. So I guess that's what this video is about, that we are being attacked in mainstream media. There's millions of people around the world reading how much we are influenced by Beijing, are reading how we get paid to go on trips, are reading about us promoting genocide and forced sterilization and concentration camps. And you know, even if this is not true, this is what millions of people around the world are actually reading and watching on the internet and in newspapers about myself and my colleagues here in China. Is this fair? Is this truthful? Absolutely not. But it's what they're telling you. And they have the forum, they have the money, they have all of that and more. The government supports them. It was not politically correct in any country around the world to be racist until it became politically correct to be racist against the Chinese people, the Chinese government, Chinese businesses, because, as I say, the United States government has earmarked over $300 million, American dollars, per year over the next 5 years to discredit the Chinese people and their businesses. Gotta love that, eh? They want you to think about Taiwan. They want you to think about Xinjiang. They want you to think about tariffs and sanctions and tomatoes and cotton and all of these different things. But they don't want you to think about Syria, Afghanistan, Libya. They don't want you to think about sanctions against Cuba and Venezuela. They don't want you to think about that. So what they do is they fill the news about bad things that China is suspected of doing. They fill the news with bad things about the Chinese people. They fill the news about bad things about the Uyghur people in Xinjiang, or what the Taiwan government thinks that they're going to be taken over by the Chinese People's Liberation Army in the next 6 days, or you know what I mean? They want you to see this stuff. They want you only to see this stuff. They don't want you to see what they're doing. They don't want you to see the forced labor in Georgia. They don't want you to see the forced labor at the Boeing plants in Florida. They don't want you to see the homeless people in California. They don't want you to see the drug addicts on the streets of Kensington Avenue in Philadelphia. They don't want you to see the people on welfare. They don't want you to see the school shootings of violence. They don't want you to see the child rapes. They don't want you to see any of that stuff that's going on in the Western world, in the United States. I'm pointing at you on this one. They want you to see alleged atrocities in Xinjiang, or alleged military actions against Taiwan. They want you to see democracy being crushed in Hong Kong. That's what they want you to see. And because they have some major mainstream media outlets in the West that really are good at what they do, I have to give them that. They are the best in the world, bar none. That's what you see as a Westerner. Except for on channels like mine, on channels like Barrett's, on channels like Daniel Dumbrill's and Alex from Reportify Media, on channels like Blondie and Mexicanos in China, on channels even for Movie. You know, they tell you the truth of what's going on in China, and it's exactly the opposite of what the mainstream media in the West is telling you. But we're here, we're living this life. So who are you going to believe? Are you going to believe these hacks in the West that have an agenda and their boss tells them what to write? Or are you going to believe the people on the ground here in mainland China? So I have a couple of things to say to mainstream media out there in the West, to the New York Times, to Fox News, to Al Jazeera, to that Dutch national TV. I don't even know who you guys are. Sorry, man. It's one of those things. But the email will go into this video. Throughout it somewhere. I don't know where. But I have something to tell you, and all of the CNNs and the whatevers around the world, that you can ask us for our comments. You can watch our videos. We're not going to change our mind. I've been living in China for 18 years, guys. A lot of my friends have been living here as long, maybe not as long as me, but you know, 5, 10, 15 years, and they're telling you the truth too. So you're not going to change our minds because we know the truth. You talk to any expat that lives in China, and they will tell you the mainstream media is lying to you. It's not just us with the camera. It's all the expats that live in China will tell you exactly the same thing. Mainstream media is not telling you the truth. They're twisting words. They're twisting what it is to their agenda. Anyway, that's another video from downtown Nanning, Guangxi Autonomous Region, China. If you like this video, as always, like, comment, subscribe, push that share button. Don't forget to resubscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell. And whatever you do, don't forget to put a couple bucks on the Children's Patreon account. It's for a good cause. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Bye now.